In the Kurukshetra battlefield, not only are conches blowing, but flags are fluttering, horses are neighing, elephants are trumpeting, drummers are drumming, and the whole earth and sky is shaking. In this scene, at the beginning of war, Arjuna says those immortal words. To study the Srimad Bhagavad Gita is a rare and beautiful privilege. Most Hindus have the Bhagavad Gita in their homes. It is wrapped in a red cloth and put in the puja room and worshipped. Of course, these are Bhagwan's words. They are worthy of worship. But we also need to bring this message of the Bhagavad Gita into our lives. And this is a thought that I had some 17 years ago. And over this time, studying as well as trying to live the message of Bhagavad Gita, what have I learned? I've learned that the Gita is relevant to us wherever we are, whatever question we may have. If we are struggling to deal with anxiety, if we're struggling to deal with focus issues, if we are struggling to deal with relationships, Bhagavad Gita will find us and give us messages. Whether we are struggling with addiction, Bhagavad Gita will give us practical guidance. If we want to transcend all of our limitations, that is the focus of the Bhagavad Gita. If we want to meet the divine themselves, the Bhagavad Gita makes it happen. These words of Bhagavan Shri Krishna are not just words for the temple, but these are words for us in our lives. And today, with this video, we begin our journey into studying the Bhagavad Gita. If this subject, if this content is of interest to you, please subscribe to the channel now itself. This is a small step for you, but is a great help in our efforts to make this message of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita accessible to as many people as possible. There are many beautiful introductions to the Bhagavad Gita. But one of the most touching introductions I heard was from a great master who said the first word of the Bhagavad Gita is Dharma and the last word of the Gita is Mama, mine. And so in the middle is the entire message of my Dharma. Not Arjun's Dharma, not the Mahabharata Dharma, but my Dharma. That message applicable to us in this chapter and every chapter of our lives begins with Dhritarashtra's words. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavaha mamaka pandavaschaiva kimakurvata sanjaya. What did the sons of Pandu and also my people do when desirous to fight? They assembled together on the holy plain of Kurukshetra, O Sanjay. We have always known Bhagavad Gita as a dialogue between Arjuna and Shri Krishna. So why is Dhritarashtra speaking all of a sudden? Actually, in the 700 verses of the Gita, we have 4 speakers. Bhagavan Shri Krishna, of course, Arjuna, of course, but also the blind king Dhritarashtra and his servant Sanjaya. Even though Dhritarashtra has only one verse, that one verse says so much. Firstly, it is a blind king speaking. A king is supposed to rule. A king is the deliverer of justice. A king is sovereign both in his inner space and in the outer world. But here we have a blind king. A king who is not just physically blind, but is blind to his duty and is not able to separate what is right from his own personal attachment to his children. And the result of this blind king is chaos. So, as the great war at Kurukshetra kicks off, Dhritarashtra's first word and the Bhagavad Gita's first word is Dharma. Dharma is a word that we are all familiar with. The usual translation of Dharma is duty. Truly, this is a limited translation because when we understand its true Sanskrit meaning, the word opens up to its fullest possibility. Dharma comes from the Sanskrit root dhr. Dharyate iti dharma. That which upholds is dharma. That which is anything's true, essential nature is its dharma. The dharma of sugar is to be sweet. The essential nature of sugar is to be sweet. If it's not sweet, it's not sugar. It's not the duty of sugar to be sweet, it is its essential nature. The essential nature of the sun is to give heat, warmth and light. If it is giving us darkness and cold, it is not the sun. In the same way, the nature of a loving relationship between a husband and a wife is loyalty, support, love. If these are not there, then it is not a relationship of partners. It's not the duty of a husband to love his wife. It is the essential nature, the essential dharma of a husband to love his wife. So this expansive word dharma is a concept that becomes the foundation of the Bhagavad Gita. And it is a word that we will come back to time and time again to explore in even greater detail. Dharma kshetre, the place of dharma. And the next word Dhritarashtra uses is Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra, as we all know, is where the great battle between the Kauravas and the Pandavas took place. Kurukshetra is not just a mythical place, but a real place that exists even today, a few hundred miles outside of Delhi. The place where Bhagwan Shri Krishna delivered this life-transforming message of the Bhagavad Gita is still revered. And many people who have gone and meditated there have said that the energy of that space is very different from anything that they might have experienced. But the word Kurukshetra in this context does not just refer to the location where the battle once took place. Kuru refers to karma, and karma kshetra, the place of karma, the place of action, brings it out to our own lives. In our own lives, wherever we are, whatever we are doing, we are facing into our Kurukshetra. A doctor who saves lives, for them, the hospital is the Kurukshetra. A firefighter who rescues people from dire conditions, for them, a burning house is the Kurukshetra. For a student, their college or school is the Kurukshetra. For you and me, any place where we are functioning, where we are fighting the battles of our life is our Kurukshetra. Dharma kshetre, Kurukshetra sets up the Bhagavad Gita as a message to all of us in our lives. What a great, powerful, profound message delivered in just 2 words. And so, Dhritarashtra, the blind king, asks his servant Sanjaya to describe what is happening on the battlefield just as the battle is about to begin. And Sanjaya, who's been bestowed with divine vision to see things that are happening far away, starts his narration of what's happening. Sanjaya sees Duryodhana, the son of Dhritarashtra, go up to his guru Dronacharya and insult the guru. With great arrogance, Duryodhana says, "O Guru, look at our enemies, the Pandavas that have been assembled on the other side." And as an insult to his guru says, "Tava shishyena dhimata," your intelligent students, implying that the guru is foolhardy to have educated these people on the other side. Now, the guru knows that this arrogance that Duryodhana is displaying is only his insecurity. And like many people, Duryodhana chooses to project his insecurity outwards. And in doing so, he recalls all of the great warriors who are on the Pandava side. Bhima, Arjuna, Drupada, and so on. And then he says to his guru, "For your information, Tan Bravimite, let me tell you who is on our side." And he goes on to list various great warriors who are fighting for the Kauravas. But then, in his insecurity that is being expressed as arrogance, Duryodhana goes on to insult those very warriors on his own side, whom he was praising just a moment ago. He says, "All of you, make sure that you are protecting Bhishma." Now, Bhishma, the grandsire of both sides, who is fighting on the Kaurava side, sees this. He sees how Duryodhana is unable to control his tongue. He sees how Dronacharya is getting angrier by the minute at the insult after insult that Duryodhana, in his sheer arrogance, is landing on him. He sees how all the other allied kings who have come to fight on the Kaurava side are also getting angry at Duryodhana's behavior. And so, to avoid any further escalation, Bhishma picks up his conch and blows it loudly to signal the beginning of the Kurukshetra war. So even until the very end, it isn't the Pandavas that provoke the start of the war. It is the Kauravas themselves. And this sudden start of the war is met in the most perfect way by the Pandava side, where Bhagwan Shri Krishna picks up his conch Panchajanya and blows it, and so does Arjun pick up Devadatta and do all the other Pandavas. And so you can imagine this scene in the Kurukshetra battlefield, where both sides have picked up their conches and begun to blow. And not only are conches blowing, but flags are fluttering, horses are neighing, elephants are trumpeting, drummers are drumming, and the whole earth and sky is shaking. In this scene, at the beginning of war, Arjuna says those immortal words that trigger the Bhagavad Gita. What are these words? You'll have to join me in the next video to find out. My name is Om Dhumatkar, and if you've enjoyed this video, then please do share it with others who may also benefit. And if you haven't already, do subscribe to our channel. Small step for you, big impact for us. Thank you so much for giving us your attention, your time, and giving us the opportunity to serve. I can't wait to see you again very soon with even more wisdom from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Namaste.